Hey, everybody. Back for another round, 2 days in a row. Doing some bug fixing today. Hey, Nikki. How you doing? You've probably told me before, but what are you working on? You want to share a link? I don't have very many viewers, but you're welcome to share a link, and we can click it and take a look at it real quick. Hey, Patrick. Same with you, Patrick. If you want to share a link to your thing, we can take a look. Learning React to change careers, not a game. I mean, that's a big one. Learning JavaScript these days, it's kind of like, it's kind of easier, I guess, maybe than it used to be. Well, I don't know if that's the right word. You can do more now with JavaScript than you could in the past. But it's also a lot more complicated than it used to be. JavaScript will take you more places than it used to. But the trade-off is it's just super complex and kind of a pain. Everybody's got their own little framework that they use and their own way of doing it. And anyway, so as I said before yesterday, got a bunch of bugs to fix, got a bunch of feedback on the playtest, which is still ongoing. So I'm expecting to get more. And some of this stuff is actionable, some of it's not, but I just put it in here just so I can, make a note of it, and then I can go through them one by one and decide if I want to do anything about them, what to do about them. Some of them are issues with level design, maybe. Some of them are bugs. Some of them are just preferences. And I don't know. We'll see what we do. These are actual things that I want to fix. And some of these are definitely bugs. Some of them are going to be easier than others. But I wanted to start with an easy one. I'm hoping it'll be an easy one. Famous last words, right? So this is when you get to the game over screen. Max, let me just show you real quick. So Max thought it'd be cool if you could click here and skip these, right? You would just short circuit them and go quickly to the next thing. I thought that's actually a pretty cool idea. So yeah, let's do that. The first thing is I want to open the game over scene and let's do some explosions. Oh, yeah. Just gets you in the mood. So in here there's there they are. This is adds every stat to the grid, and then this is when each thing finishes. So there's an animation that plays. And what I want to do, I think, is just say if this should be pretty simple. I think I just want to say if the user presses their mouse button or makes a selection on their gamepad, then it'll just set this animation to the last frame of the animation, just zip to the end. So what I can do is just add a input function here and say if input.isAction just pressed, I think I want UI accept, which is a bunch of different controls. It's A button, it's space bar, it's enter key, it's left click. Right, there's a bunch of different things that go into UI accept. You can actually see here. If you go to project settings, input map, UI accept, it's all these. Enter key, keypad enter space, mouse left button, A button on the controller, or A button on the second controller. Any of those will count, right? And then I just want to say progress animation dot seek, progress animation dot length. Yeah. So this will just seek to the end whenever that accept input is pressed. Let's see if it works. Click. Nope. It did something. Error. The argument event is never used. So that's just a warning, and I can suppress the warning with that. What if I did not quite to the end, but a 1/10 of a second to the end? Yeah, that worked. That worked. I don't know why. And then with the gamepad, let's see. Skip, skip. Oh, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? I must already be checking for this somewhere in here. That's weird. So the problem, the fundamental problem here is that the game's too big to keep in my head. I just don't remember how everything works. Hit the main menu button, main scene, stat to grid. Do I have anything in here? Timeout. Progress animation finished. The heck is going to, what is it even doing? Oh, it's because the focus is on the try again button. So if you hit accept, it's going to go to the button first. See, nothing's as easy as it seems at first. I need a different control. Maybe I won't do this one. Maybe the buttons shouldn't show up until after everything has finished. Let's try that. So if we hide the buttons, right, here's the buttons. There's where it's grabbing the focus. So if I copied those, this is in the ready function. So this is just setting up the scene, right? So I can have it basically just hide all the buttons by default. All right, I've got continue, again, and menu. Continue again. Where's the menu? Yeah, I'm not even doing anything with it. It's just always visible. So if I say button continue, hide, let's do it this pattern that I was doing here. And button, find node button again, dot hide, and find node button continue, button menu, dot hide. I'm using find node because when I was developing this, right, I was moving all these controls around. I was experimenting a lot with the node hierarchy here, and every time you move one of these nodes, it changes the path to the node. And I just got sick of dealing with it, so I just have it find. So this searches the tree recursively until it finds the node. And then this can go at the end when everything's done. Let's just see how that feels. Right here. This is when we're done. Didn't work. Why didn't that work? Oh, no, that's right. No, that's wrong. I need to show these things. Dot show and dot show and right and menu dot show. Now it should work. Hey Droopy. There we go. And if I run it again, I can use the controller now, I think. Up, skip. Skip, 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 skip. Ugh. See, I don't like that. Just went too fast, right? Boom. Maybe I just have one button and it just skips it all. Just short circuits right to the end instead of having to tap, 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 tap. Before I do that, though, let me play a track. Let me play a track that Andrew has made for us. Andrew's been making music and just doing a great job. And this one is called Space Worm Food. I love that one. So that'll play while you're playing a level, right? So that's kind of ambient background music while you're playing. And yeah, right? I mean, it sounds perfect. And Andrew's making a bunch more. They're gonna be great. I should install Winamp or something so I get cool visualization when I play you guys those tracks. All right, let's see. So let's just do a skip to the end. Instead of a bunch of things, we'll skip to the end by doing this. Yeah, by doing that. In input, right? Instead of seeking, we'll do a we'll do skip to end equals true. Okay, and we'll make that skip to end equals false. So I'll skip to the end, and I think, yeah, I'll just reuse this. If skip to end, right? Skip to end. Let's see. That works. So you see what I did there? If you say skip to end, it just increases the playback speed to 100 times. That might be too much. Let's do 10 times. And let's be software engineering about it and put this in a variable. Skip speed equals 10. This one's not speeding up though. Let's do that one too. That would be the total progress player. That should do it. Still not doing it? Ah, that's why. Because I'm changing it right here. Let's just move this to here. Damn it. I must be changing it someplace else. Am I looking at the right animation? Yeah, it's the right animation. Let's do this. Let's run it. And quickly pause it. Right, so this is still looping, right? It's still running here. I'm halfway through. And I can look at the remote tree here. Look at my game over scene. Look at my total progress animation. And I can see the playback speed is tiny. Oh, because am I doing this in the wrong place? Yeah, I'm doing this in the wrong place. Remember, this is the setup when the scene is first made ready, right? But I need to put this also in a place where after the input is pressed, and that would be in here. Somewhere in here, right? This. So this is in the add stat to grid section. Let's see if that does the trick. Yeah, that does the trick. So I think I want to, let's make this into a function. We'll call it skip to end, or fast forward. Right, and I'll have function fast forward, and I'll put it right there. So now I can call fast forward there, right? And that'll just increase the playback speed at that moment. Go away, red. Forward. Go away, red. And then skip speed. Right, so this will be fast forward. But this isn't even actually going to be true right here, so it doesn't matter. And then this, I can just say fast forward. Look at me refactoring. Skip to end is true. And then I can just make these 10 and 10 here. And I don't need this variable anymore. Right, it just simplifies things a little bit. I have a magic number here, but I only use it in one place. So it's fine. The behavior is different now. I had it working, and then I screwed it up. Skip to end is false. If input, skip to end is true. Set the playback speed. If skip to end fast forward. If skip to end fast forward. Right, and that's in the... Oh, I still have it in ready? Okay, I have it in ready, but I don't need it in ready. I need it in... Yeah, I need it in process. No, I need it in add stat to grid. I deleted it from the wrong place. How's that, Max? Max was the one who complained about this. No, it was a good idea, Max. This is skipping the game over scene. So look, I'm going to run it, and then I'm going to hit A. Boom. Skipped. Or you can hit the mouse button. Skip. How do I like them apples, Max? I played around with having you push the button for each stat, but what ended up happening was you'd get to the end and it would grab focus on the try again, and so it would skip the screen without intending to. So this way you just push it once, it runs through them all really quick. Like a machine gun. And I can change the speed to, let's say 5. Yeah, I think it needs to be 10. Let's try 15, just for giggles, and see what happens. That's too fast. You think 5's fast enough? Doesn't seem too slow? Thousand 1, 1002. It's 2 seconds. 2 seconds? Alright, here's 10. This will do it in 1 second. Thanks, guys. Yeah, let's be real precise. It's got to be 9.43. It's got to be something like pi times... Screw you guys. I'm sticking with 10. It might actually feel better if it was like logarithmic or something. Oh, I see. Oh, that's interesting. So, skip game over animations. Boom. See that, Max? Hat tip to Max. Okay. Button timing bug. So this was a bug. I can demonstrate it real quick. I was actually able to reproduce this one. And I know what's causing it. So let me show you in the editor here. There's a bug where, depending on when you push this button, so this button is wired up to this gate, right? And if you push it, it turns off the gate. And if you keep pushing it, right, the gate stays open. And then when the button turns off, the gate comes back, right? But there's a timing issue where if you watch carefully, the animation on the button starts to finish while the laser is coming on. See, it's blinking and then, right? So there's a little bit of overlap in the timing between these two things. And so if you hit the button again, while the laser is still doing its charge up sequence, then the laser will come on even though you're pushing the button. So I'll do it right here. So this appears to be a bug, right? I mean, it is a bug. Because they're out of sequence here. And I know exactly what's causing it. I put some code in to fix something else and I broke this. So you have to wait until it goes through its cycle again, and then you can turn it off again. But it's a bad experience, right? Hidden logic errors, yeah. So in the button, I have a button here, and I have a laser gate here, and the button has a signal. Right, where it opens and where it closes, right? And I was saying always emit the signal. Even if you're open or closed, just always emit the signal. And if I do this, this is the way the code was before. If I do this, it'll work again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If I'm remembering correctly. Right, it opens. But watch what happens, right? Every time I do it, it's sending the signal to the gate to say, open, 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 open. And so the gate, even though it's already open, it opens again. So this doesn't have the bug that I just showed you, right? It's fine. But it has a different kind of visual bug where it turns on the gate even though it's already open. And I thought I would fix that by saying if I'm already open, or if I'm only emit the signal if I'm not already open, right? But I think actually the better way to solve this is to send the signal to the gate and let the gate decide whether it should open or not, rather than having the button decide whether it should send the signal. I think if you push the button should always send the signal, and whatever's receiving the signal should decide what it should do. So I'm going to put that code in here. And that's in here, right? If it gets this open code, it's going to open. If it gets the close code, it's going to close. And I'll put some code in here, right? This is what's causing that visual glitch. Yeah, I'll need to figure this out in a second. Cool username. Any idea how difficult it is to develop a game that's online in Godot? I mean, aside from the fact that developing a online game in general is very, very hard, I don't think it's any more difficult in Godot than it would be in any other language. Godot does have... I haven't done it. I've never made a multiplayer game. I've never done an online game. A couple of my friends have. Max could probably tell you exactly how difficult it is, and maybe, think twice about doing it. I guess the answer is going to depend on your game more than on Godot. Godot is definitely capable. If you mean something like having a game that's like in a web browser, that's actually pretty easy. Godot will export to HTML5, and it makes a it makes a bunch of JavaScript and does a bunch of stuff, and the games work. So that part of it works pretty well. But if you're talking about multiplayer or some kind of network synchronization between multiple clients, that's definitely hard, no matter where you do it. So I think I can say if not open here. Let's see if that fixes the problem. It's funny how all these little bugs, right? It's just one little thing. A lot of times it's just because, the first time I did it, I didn't do it quite right. See, it's not fixing it. Something more complicated is going on. Something more complicated is going on. I think, what does this do? It might be in the beam itself. because I say beam off. Yeah, that's what it is. So in my lasers, right, there's the gate object, and it has a beam scene inside of it. If you look at this guy, here's the gate, right? It's this thing. Well, it's just this base part, right? And the collision and things like that. And then the beam itself is this whole other thing. Thanks for the follow. So this beam has its own scene, and it does its own animations and stuff. And I think this is what's causing it. Let me just comment that out and see. If not on, then do this. If not on, then do that. Yeah. Whoa, why did that move? That was bizarre. Still doing it. Interpolating the scale. On Unreal. I'm saying beam off in the gate, right? When you open, it's doing that. Let's just make sure I'm hitting the right things. So I'm putting a breakpoint here. In case you guys didn't know, maybe there's some folks watching who didn't know this, but Godot has actually a really good debugger. And you can, let me just show you here. I'll put the breakpoint here. And when I continue and hit this button, see the game breaks, right? Gives you the full stack trace. So you can see a bullet, on body entered event, hit the hurt function, hit the open function in the button, which emitted a signal, which caused this trigger in the laser gate to fire, which got to this point here, and it called the open method on the gate, right? And then that gets down to here, right? So now you can step through. I'll step over that, over, and then this one I'll step into, which means it'll go to that function. Hey, Game Dev Unknown. Thanks for the follow, buddy. And then this should take me right to here. This is in the beam script now. And it's on, so it should do this tween, but it didn't. It didn't. Oh, I want this to be, if it's on, then show it going off. Yeah, I had my logic backwards there. Seeing that it does all this stuff, and then you can just continue if you're done debugging, right? So I'm gonna turn off that breakpoint again. Where the heck was it? It was here. Right? That works. I just have my my Boolean logic was wrong. Still a little bit of a timing issue, but at least it takes it the second time. It's because this is already started by the time you push the button again, and it's not interrupting it. But it's not playing this animation again. So here's where the beam comes back on. The button goes off, which turns the beam back on. So the beam starts a timer. That's what it is. It starts a timer, does its tween, and then it really comes back on with the collisions and everything. So I also want to stop this timer. I want to say, so if you're turning it off, I want to turn the on timer off. Just in case the turn on timer has already started. If you turn the beam off again, let's stop the timer as well so that it doesn't come back on automatically. Let's see if that does the trick. Right. So that'll keep it open. And then when the beam starts to turn back on, just shuts it down again. All right, that fixes it. So that fixes the visual glitch, and it fixes the timer, the timing delay problem. I know, man. Future me hates me. But look at this. So all that thinking expended on a change that is 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. 4 lines of code. Past John is a jerk. It's funny, there's a song in my YouTube, in my Spotify, my current Spotify playlist. I have a song called Future Me Hates Me. I think it's true. Future John, well, I mean, that's natural though, right? You're always getting better, right? So the future version of yourself will always be disappointed in the past version of yourself. If the future you looks back on past you and goes, oh, gosh, I wish I was that guy again, then your life may not be going in the right direction. Which one of these do I want to fix? There's a crate bug that I can't reproduce. There's a UI bug where if you have 1 million signals like Peter's making in my game, they'll overlap the delete level button. And so that's a UI redesign I need to do. You move that button someplace else. This one I can't reproduce. This one sounds boring. This one maybe. So when you exit a level, sometimes the geometry of the level will be in such a way that as the reactor is getting pulled out, it'll hit some of the geometry. And it really shouldn't. It should just pass through it. I'm not sure why it's colliding. This one is when you place a rotating laser in the game, in the editor. Let's just show that one real quick. Its initial rotation is the wrong direction. It should be going clockwise. And instead, it's going anti-clockwise. See? Should be going clockwise. Now this works, right? Right? Anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise. But when you first put it in, it's just going the wrong direction. I think this one's probably an easy fix. Let's do that one. Let's do that one because it seems easy and I like quick, easy wins. They make me feel good. Each one's a little dopamine hit right to my reptilian lizard brain. So we will open up. Let's get rid of some of this clutter. Too many scripts open. Let's go to rotating gate. And clockwise is true. Set direction is a setter for this. Right. So when it first comes into the game, it should set clockwise to true. Is clockwise. And this should work, unless it's not calling this when it first spawns in. Let me see. Why do I keep closing the game? So go faster, John, if you quit closing the game. All right, let's delete this and this, and we'll put a gate. Right there, right? So it's not. It didn't call this. Why not? Maybe the getter doesn't get called if it's a default value. So let's just say, let's just do the default there. That should call this. Yeah, there it is. Continue. Okay, so we learned something here. I did anyway. And this still works. Right. So what we learned is when this thing is instanced, it has a default value. And the default value doesn't cause this to get called. This only gets called if you're changing the value. So I change it right here in the ready function, which is called when the object is added to the game tree. And then that will end up calling this, excuse me, I just ate some pastry. This will call the setter, which does this. And the reason I do self is because Godot has a convention where if you're setting a variable like this, then it just changes it directly. It's like an internal variable. But if you call self, then it's like you're calling it on the object, and it goes through the setter. It's just a convention. So I'm calling self clockwise to make sure it does this. So it does this, so that the physics process does this, and it rotates the right way. And let me delete that, add it again. So that's definitely the right direction. And if I swap it, yeah, that's definitely the right direction. Definitely the right direction. Let's add one here. And we'll change the direction of this one. And we'll move our guy down here where it's safe. And we'll see what we got. Yeah, so one clockwise, one anti-clockwise, right? Exactly like it is in the editor. And if I play from start, it should reload everything. And yeah, we're going the right direction, sorry. Clockwise, anti-clockwise, and destroyed. Fun. Another one down. All right, this time the fix was one line and some noise there from the visual editor. I just need to set the default. Yeah, let's do this one. Let's see if we can replicate it first. So to replicate it should be pretty easy. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. We'll put a exit right here. And we'll put a reactor right here. And we'll put a platform right here. And then we should see the reactor colliding with this thing. Oh, whoops. The exit's hidden. You have to give it a signal to unhide it. Or just tell it to not be hidden from the start. It didn't do it. Who reported that bug? How come my try again button isn't here? Hey, Slacks. My try again button's gone. How do you pronounce it? S-Slacks? Oh, that is how you pronounce it. This track you're hearing right here is another one that Andrew made. Droopy Music. Go check him out. Okay, why is that? Let me fix that other bug. Why is the try button not visible? Again. Right. Oh, I should probably always... Yeah, I should do this. So the menu and the try again button should always be visible. But sometimes the continue button won't be visible, and in that case the try again button will get focus. And sometimes the continue button will be visible, and in that case the continue button should get focus. Let's try that level again. You know, the coding's going okay. You know, I don't claim to be a great programmer. I am a pretty good one, I think. I'm not a genius. I make a lot of mistakes. I joked with my wife a lot that a trained monkey could do what I do. I don't think that's actually true, but maybe it's like a false modesty. There we go. So I'm not getting that collision bug at all. A trained monkey with a gun. I mean, I would do what he wanted. Never trust a monkey with a gun. Yeah. fix the button visibility. Game over scene. And this is not a thing. And yeah, we'll just add that. Colliding with the air vents caught you off guard. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Maybe it's too subtle of a design thing. But in the game, basically anything that's like that dark gray color. Bring up the editor again. Anything red you can collide with. Right? Red thing's bad. Red thing's bad. Like steam vent. And then stuff you can't collide with is gray. Right? This dark gray color. Even like walls that are dark gray. So let me, like if I take one of these guys and make it a background. Right? So now that, you can't collide with that either. So you can hit the steam. Oh. What is happening? The exit scene. The exit scene. Oh, I know what that is. So the exit scene is appearing in the because I hit the go to editor while it was transitioning to the exit. And I have that exit scene or leave level. There it is, level escape. So I need to add a node to this, a group, add it to the transient group. Anything in this group gets deleted when you go into the level editor. So now when I go back and forth, it should be gone. Let me move this thing over here. Yeah, bugs, man. Kill you, destroy you. So the steam will push you. But as Max cleverly discovered, you can also collide with those things. Because they're red. I think I want to increase the range of those steam vents too, actually. I know, we were on about fixing this bug, but this bug doesn't seem to be happening. So I'm going to move it over here. Yeah. It is a really physical thing. Robert Capper, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Shoot, what was I doing? Oh, I was thinking about the steam vents and ignoring a bug that I couldn't reproduce and fixing this thing. Did I commit that? Yeah, so let's commit that. Let's throw that away. Why does it keep bringing that up? Oh, because this is still open, that's why. Added level escape scene to transient group. So it is destroyed when you open the level editor. I know, that's not great. That's not a great GitHub compliant commit message. It's too long, but whatever. So let's go back in here and look at my vents. I think, so one thing I'd done with this was I made the vent strength much stronger than it used to be. So the way the vent is constructed is it's a static body, which is this, right? Let me turn off all this stuff. It's a static body with a collision and a sprite, right? There's an animation player that plays its idle, right? And it's also got a venting animation, right? And then there's an area 2D with a collision. Here's the area 2D collision. And that area 2D collision is what pushes you. So it works like a gravity field. It overrides any other gravity. If you're in here, then the only gravity you'll feel is this gravity. And the way it works is when you're, along with this animation here, one of the things it does is it disables this collision. So when it's idle, this collision is disabled, so the area 2D gravity never takes effect. But then when it's venting, it turns on the gravity, or turns on the collision. It turns off the disabled flag on the collision, which makes the collision active. And then it turns it off again. So for this part of the animation, the collision on the area 2D is active, and it pushes you, and then it stops pushing you. So one thing I want to do is I want to make this area 2D a little bigger. I think I want it to affect you a little bit further out than it was doing. Let's do that. And I also think I want to make it a little bit weaker. And there's two ways to do that. One is just by changing the scale, but another way is this, I think. The fall off factor. So right now it's 0, which means the gravity here is just as strong as the gravity here. But if I have a fall off factor of a bigger number, I'm not sure how these numbers work, then it'll be weaker at the edge than at the center. A semicircle visual. You mean instead of the steam just going straight up, that it kind of goes out in a puff? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying here with these 3 different vents. Right? It kind of pushes that way. And so it feels natural that it pushes you this way, this way, this way. If you're under it here, it would feel a little weird that it's pushing you down, I guess. But I think that situation is pretty rare because you're usually going to have level geometry here. So getting into this space is going to be really difficult. Hey, thanks for the follow. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm going to butcher it right now and say the van. But I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But welcome. So you're thinking like some kind of outline or something that shows you where the radius of the steam is. Is that what you're thinking, Max? Like broadcasting where it's going to hit you. Let's just. Oh, that's a weird scale. It's like logarithmic. 1024. 512. 256. 128. 64. 32s are like right in the middle, right? So it's like doubling. It's doubling, doubling, doubling. So some kind of inverse square rule here, Max. Let's just do that, see what happens. I don't think that's going to work. I have to reload the game. Definitely isn't squaring. You're right. What do you call that? Is it geometric? It's not exponential then, right? But it's some kind of progression that gets bigger and bigger. What do you call it when it doubles every time? Max is a math whiz, guys. Also a physics whiz. If you got trigonometry questions, he's your go-to. Why do I make my life difficult? Let's just delete those bad guys. So, am I feeling it push? You know what? Let's do this. Let's turn on... Let's make the collision shapes visible. Yeah, let's do that. This will be weird. Aha! I was right. Augustinal? Augustinal? Thank you. I love being right. Max knows. So look at this. This is with collision shapes turned on. Debugging collision shapes. So you can see where the, whatchamacallit, the Area 2D is. This one coming out is an aiming thing. It's a raycast. So that way I can tell if I'm about to shoot something friendly or an enemy. And then this other raycast, you see how it's moving with the velocity of the ship? That's how I get my collision warning. It's raycasting and seeing if it's colliding with something, and if the speed is too fast, it gives the collision warning there off to the side. So if I get in here, see, I didn't feel it. Barely felt it. So that fall off is too high. Let's try 1. Nothing. Maybe I misunderstand this. The fall-off factor for point gravity. The greater the value, the faster gravity decreases with distance. And if it's 0... So if it's 0, it pushes you. Okay. And if it's 0.2, nothing. Nothing. That's weird. I don't understand what this is doing at all. So I'm just going to make this 400. Okay, so it doesn't push me as hard, but the range is a little better. Right, that feels pretty good, I think. I don't know. Because it's like... See, that's the extent of the steam, right? That's as far out as the steam goes, visually. Maybe this should actually be... It shouldn't go much further out than that. It's kind of what I had it before, I think. Funny, Max, you know, having these debug shapes on, it is kind of nice and fair to see where it's going to be. I might try out that hemisphere idea. does feel kind of nice to just to see it. Let's see, how big is this? Let's just do it real quick. This collision is a circle shape with a radius of 55. It's a weird distance. Let's say 60. Ugh. Let's just see if it feels right. I don't know why I care if it's 55 or 60. It doesn't matter. It's my OCD kicking in. I'm going to make the sprite 64 by 64 anyway. Feels alright. That feels alright. Let's just go back to 55. Right? And then we'll put the, we can put the radius even a little further out. Give the player a little extra wiggle room. Yeah, right? It's broadcasting its intent. So let's bring up a sprite. And let's start a new file. It'll be 64 by 64. We will use our delightful red. We will use our this brush. No. We will use our this brush. Yeah, let's see. This brush. Yeah, let's do that one. And we'll do red. I don't know why the color is not changing. That's fine. And then we'll do a circle. Like that. And that's 55 right there. And then we will delete this bottom half. I've mirrored it, so whatever I do on the left side is going to happen on the right side. Increase the size of that. Eraser, how come? Oh, because I'm using a... It's fine. And then I can... I don't like the way these pixels are looking, but it's fine. We're just experimenting. And we'll do lock alpha, so it'll just colorize that. Right, so there's my vent intent. Where the heck is it? Is it in enemies? Yeah. We'll call it vent radius. Right, and just export that. It's a PNG. And then I can put it right in here. Enemies, textures, vent radius, BAP. Oh, that's weird. What the heck is that? I must have exported it some funny way. Let's try that again. Export, layout. Yeah, that's how I want it to look. Go back in here. There it is. Oh, the radius is 55. So the sprite is actually 110. Dang it. This isn't going to look right, but I'm just going to save it. Because we're just experimenting. So if I did that, let's just see how that looks and feels. Those are in the wrong spot. I'd probably have to restart it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. I have a similar thing on my exit beacon. If you look up here, see this guy? It's rotating, and it's got this animation on it, which is kind of cool. I'm going to do something like that here. So that's actually pretty easy to do. I'm going to delete that. Turn that off. And I'm going to go turn that back on. And get this brush. And do my circle again. That's not working. You know what I want to do? Let's make a new one of these. Let's just go like that, and then like that. And then you say, make it a brush somehow. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Somehow you make this a brush. New brush from the selection. Right? So then I can draw my circle again. Come on. Gotta have the right tool selected. And that is 100 and... Come on, come on. Yeah, it's close enough. So that'll be one frame. Hey, Funky Monkey. Hey, and Peta's here. Hey guys, everybody say hi to Peta Bread. He's been designing levels for me and doing a great job. And Funky Monk 420. Welcome. So yeah, let's turn this back on, reset the symmetry to the center, and erase from like here. And let's actually erase this, oops, let's erase this half, because you see how it's not symmetrical? It's just because of the drawing algorithm in here. So I'm going to copy that, paste it, flip it. Now it's perfectly symmetrical. And I'm going to add a frame. And add a frame. And I'm going to erase parts of this. Just going to... why isn't that working? Oh. Because I've got the onion skin turned on. So I'm just going to erase parts of this. Give it a little glitchy kind of flavor. And... right, if you play that, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's kind of glitching a little bit over here. I'm gonna make one more frame and do it again, just a little bit differently. Right? So now I've got a nice little 3-frame animation. I'm gonna save it, export it, horizontal strip. So I've got my 1, 2, 3 frames. Export, go back to the editor, and I've got my 1, 2, 3 frames, and I can say it's an animation with 3 horizontal frames, right? And then I can just say in here in idle. Actually, let's do this. Let's change this to a animated sprite. This is something I've been doing more of lately. Psychedelic level. I think when I started making this game, animated sprites didn't let you work with sprite sheets, but now they do. So you can load in your sprite sheet like this. And you just tell it, I've got 1 vertical frame, 3 horizontal, select all the frames, add them, right? And I've got the frames of my animation. And I can just tell it to play it like 24 frames a second, loop it, and play. Right? So now I get this kind of glitchy effect. I don't know, I kind of don't like it. Kind of don't like it. Let's change it back. I'm going to do it a different way. Let's change it back to a sprite. Put that texture back on it. Change it to 3 frames, right? And then in process, I'll say, God, I don't know if I like this either. Let's just see if I like it first. Let's see how it looks. Well, let's get it working and then we'll optimize it later. If let's say vent. Let's change the name of this thing. Vent. Should appear and disappear before the blast and after it's done. Yeah. Yeah. We can do that. That radius dot, but let's just do this first. Frame equals rand range or randi mod 3 and yeah, let's just see how that looks. Oh, and actually vent if randi mod 2 equals 1 at radius dot hide plus dot show. Let's do something like that. Let's also make it blink and change its frame randomly. Gonna reload it. Holy crap, where did all you guys come from? Did I miss a raid? There's so many people here. I don't think I missed a raid. That's so weird. I mean, I appreciate it. You guys are great. Yeah, it doesn't look like there was. I just scrolled back through the chat. You guys are great. I appreciate it. Let's open this. Maybe it's because I'm tagging things correctly now. Yeah, look at that. See how cool that looks? Right, that's kind of what this guy's doing, right? It's winking in and out. It's changing the frame randomly. These aren't rotating, but that's okay. Yeah, there it is. See, I'm doing the tags right finally. I'm so stupid. I have a low Twitch IQ because I was trying to. I didn't realize you had to do the tags every time you stream. You had to re-update them. So I did it like the first time. And thanks for the follow. I mean, they have a game development tag, but I guess it's not really their bread and butter, right? I think just chatting is their biggest thing right now. Just people chatting. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, you found me through the dev category, the game dev category, game dev tag. So, thank you. It must be working. You guys should definitely all go to Steam and wishlist this thing. I would love it if you wishlisted it. I would really, honestly, that would make my day. Go to gravityace.com, follow the link. So that looks pretty cool, huh, Max? And then I think what we can do is we can animate its modulate, right? So in the animation player, when it's idle, right, it's off, right? So what we'll do is at the beginning of the idle, we'll take the modulate of the radius thing and just set its alpha to nothing. It'll be invisible. Keyframe that. Right, there's the vent radius going to alpha 0, right? So you can't see it. And then when it starts to vent, right at the beginning of the venting animation, it'll come on at full alpha, keyframe that, and then let me zoom this in a little bit. That's why I like the animation player so much. It really lets you do a lot of cool things. It's playing an audio clip. It's, any of these properties can be keyframed. It'll interpolate from keyframe to keyframe. Very, very cool. So that turns on, makes the radius visible again, right? But I want it to kind of blink, so I'm going to go here and turn it off again. So you can see it blinking. It'll go blink, blink. And then I have this one come back on again. Dink, dink, dink. Maybe this one will be... Yeah, let's see. Let's see how it looks. And then here, it'll definitely be on. And here, we'll have it fade out again. So we'll copy this one to here. It kind of fades out, right? Let's see how that feels. Save it. So you can see it as you're coming up to it, right? It's projecting where it's going to hit you. And then it disappears. So it's still a little bit of a guessing game. But if I'm right there at the edge of it, it's going to hit me. Yeah, let's keep that in. Good idea, Max. I should hire you. Who me kidding? I think I could afford you, Max. Oof. I can barely afford pita bread rates. Let's do this. So this hits, right? And it comes in and then it starts fading out gradually. But I think I want the fade out to be more pronounced. So I'm going to duplicate this to here. So now it'll stay, it'll blink, and then it'll come on. Actually, let's have it go off again right here. Let's duplicate this guy. We can adjust the timings of these things a little bit. So it comes on, blink, and then it stays on, and then goes off. And see how it's interpolating here? If I change this to discrete, then I think it's only going to change when it hits, right? I kind of like better. And then I can duplicate that there, duplicate that there, and duplicate that there, and duplicate that there. So then it'll kind of wink out. Let's turn off the snapping so we can make this blink really fast. Like that, like that, like that, like that. So it'll kind of really blink fast at the end there. And I think I want this to be kind of a fast blink at the beginning as well. Which means I need another off here at the beginning because it's going to start off. Duplicate that. Right? Let's get these really tight in here. Yeah, that looks good. Let's see how it looks in the game. So it almost looks like they're fading out again, right? But they're not. They're blinking out. They're either completely on or completely off, but I like how they're kind of glitching in and out. Yeah, let's keep that. So PETA, I don't know if you noticed, but I lowered the strength of the steam vents a little bit, They don't push you quite as far, and the radius that they push you from is a little bit bigger. So they have a little bit more reach, but a little bit less pushing power. I don't think that's going to screw up any of the level designs, but let me know if I need to fix it and change it back. So that was not something I'd intended to do, but I think it looks cool. Oh, this. I don't know if I want to do this. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. Yeah. I'm going to change this back to a animated sprite. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I don't like having code in a physics process or process when I can avoid it. And this is convenient and it's easy to do, but it is a small frame rate hit, maybe 1 frame a second or something, maybe 1/10 of a frame a second, but it is a small frame rate hit to have something in here. And I can avoid it and just have the engine do this if I just make this an animation player or animated sprite. So I'm going to change this back to animated sprite, and I'm going to put in my sprite sheet right here. And what I'm going to do is to say, give me all these frames, And then I'm going to say play it at like 20 frames a second, right? And where's my animation player? Let's make sure we're at this point, right? So it's okay. It's not quite as good as it was before because the whole thing's not winking out randomly. So what I can do is I can just actually insert a blank frame, right? And I can move it. So now the whole thing is blinking out. And I can even then just copy some of these, I think. Copy. And then paste, right? And I can take this one and copy it and maybe paste it right here. Let's move that like that. And kind of rearrange the order so they're a little random. Let's do another empty right there. Right? That's simulating the randomness that I was having before, but it's not really random. But it looks random enough. It seems random enough. And then I can remove all this. Actually, that was interfering with it. So now you're just seeing the pure animated sprite. Oh, I need to reload it again. I think the reason I need to reload these things every time is because I'm preloading them, which caches it. It only loads it once, then it caches it. And then when I change it in the game, or in the in Godot, in the editor, it's not really, it doesn't cause it to reload. I don't know. Maybe that's not it. Maybe it's something else. But so you see, that looks random enough, but it's not random at all. It's just some animation frames playing in a, particular order. And the engine is doing it all. So this is C++ doing it as fast as it can, and I'm probably not losing any frame rate at all. Let the engine do it. That's my motto. All right, I can commit this now. I'll show you in a second. How do I get my keyboard presses to have cool animations like that? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't notice anything. I'll show you in a minute. If anybody else knows, feel free to share a link while I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah, that's me. I'm that guy that made the ridiculous keyboard thing. Oh, and also a game. That's fine. I don't mind being known for that. What is going on? Oh, this is all the animation stuff I did. This is my new ASprite file. This is my new texture. This is the import file for the texture. Change log change. Added vent radius broadcast before venting. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he did play it one time a few weeks back. That was very nice of him. Let's see. GitHub, ridiculous coding. There it is. So this is an add-on for Godot engine. And if you download it and install it, it does this to your engine with explosions and sound effects and everything while you're typing in the editor. And it's based off of this, which you can buy on itch. This guy Ash and some friends made this thing, which is a text editor. It's a fully functional text editor that just makes typing fun. So I saw this, and he made this with Godot engine, actually. So I thought, wow, that's super cool. I didn't know you could do that. So I tried to get it into the editor. And it took me, I don't know, too long on a Sunday to get it in. But there it is. So I'll paste the link in the chat. You guys can go to town. I've already got bug requests for it, which is one of the reasons why I don't like releasing open source software. I mean, I support open source software. I use open source software. I love open source software. But every time I think about releasing some open source software, I think about the fact that I get issues but no pull requests. It's just one more chore, you know? But anyway, I digress. Let's do one more bug. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, people really seem to be attracted to explosions in your text editor. There's one for Visual Studio, for VS Code. I think it's called Power Mode, VS Code. Yeah, VS Code Power Mode. Check this out. You can install this into Visual Studio Code. So if you're using VS Code with, what do you call it, Unity, doing your C# or whatever, right? You can get particles and screen shake in there. No explosions, though, I don't think. Oh, no, there are explosions. Look at that. Yeah, Max, you got to do this, man. Fireworks mode. Hey, Petrix. Thanks for following. I'm sure you can get... yeah, totally. You could probably actually... So this Visual Studio Code add-on, Max, is open source. It's on GitHub. Right? You can download it and replace these visual effects with dogs. You could put flock of dogs in here, man. You could have, your enemies in here blowing stuff up. Think about it. Yeah, exact. See, now you're thinking. Now you're thinking like a Twitch streamer. As you type certain things, it could be a whole dog orchestra. I'll paste that here too. I've never tried this one, so I don't know if it works, but it's there. Controller loses focus on start menu. All right, this one is just a pain. It's kind of a UI pain thing. I don't like making UIs. Some people really love it, but that person is not me. So if you go in here, you see the first button, start button on here got focus, right? And I can move up and down. I can go, can't go left and right, but it wraps around, right? It's great, right? And I go in here, I can move between all these. That's fine. And if I click in here, I can go back and forth in here. And then I think there's a problem where there's some problem where you can get in here and there's some way you can screw it up so that you're on something that doesn't have focus, or there's no focus anywhere. And I'm not sure how they're doing it. Oh, no, I thought I just did it. I can't make it happen. Could have swore I made it happen the other day. What could I have done? funny, isn't it? Like every time you get a bug request or bug report, and you kind of think, oh yeah, I could see how that can happen. So then you go and try to replicate it, and you do. I did replicate this bug. And I thought, okay, yeah, that's a real bug. But now I can't replicate it. What on earth did I do? Oh, I just did it. Look at, I lost focus. I went in here and I went down twice from user campaigns. And it went back to here. Where did it go? Yeah, I lost it. Okay, so if you're in here in the level chooser and you go down, it screws up. So I want to fix the focus on those level buttons so that down does nothing. Let's see. Now I have to remember how my level chooser works. So the level chooser, right, has the campaigns and it has the levels. And in this levels container, it adds a button. And I think the problem is that none of these things are assigned, so it's doing something by default. It's doing a default thing. Let me do that again. Start A. I can go down, and I can go down again from user campaigns. That's the problem. So up and down from the back button doesn't work right when the campaign thing is hidden. Yeah. So it's the neighbors on these two buttons that is causing the problem, I think. What if I don't let the game... I'm glad you like it. It makes me happy too. Something very satisfying about deleting stuff like this, right? So it adds a level button instance, right? Clear, show, hide, focus, blah, blah, blah. Level button, does this have anything? Interesting. So it adds all the buttons here. So this adds all, when you choose a campaign, it gets all the levels and then adds the buttons for all the levels. You choose a user campaign, gets the levels and adds all the buttons for all the levels. And I want to say, only listen to left and right, don't listen to up and down. Where is that input control? Cancel. Ready, grab focus. What is getting the focus? Adds the button. Yeah, Godot, the engine itself was written in C++. The scripting language, you can use just about whatever you want. The built-in scripting language is a Python-like language called GDScript. It's not Python, but it has similar syntax, which I like. I don't like typing parentheses or semicolons. But you can do C# if you want to. They have an official C# build if you want to do that. You can also code in C++ directly if you want to. I know there are people doing Rust. There are people doing Golang. You can use whatever you want, like. I prefer GDScript because you can make a change and hit F5 and you're running. And the builds take about 2 seconds. Yeah, I mean, a lot of time you don't even need to do anything either. You can like I'll run this, right? Let me window it and stick it to the screen. Right, and if I go into the title scene, like I can just say, turn off the stars. And look at that. See, in the game, they just turn off. It's pretty cool. This works on mobile too. So if you have your phone hooked up, you can actually see it on your phone, on your actual hardware device, and mess around with this stuff, and it automatically reloads on your phone. Art, sound, scripts, it's all connected. And you can inspect the remote tree in here, or look at your local tree for the scene that you're actually looking at. This is the remote of the entire game running over here. And then you can actually inspect the actual runtime values of any of those things, which is pretty cool. All right, so here's like the stars. Here's my star field shader all over here. Turn off the title. Can, I don't know. What can I do? I can change the foreground. Let's do that. Oh, what did I do? It turns it off. Well, anyway, you can get in trouble. Anyway, pretty neat. Yeah, I like it a lot. I do like it a lot, obviously. I mean, I'm sure Unity's fine. I tried to use Unity, but you know, I'm using come on. There we go. I'm using Ubuntu Linux over here as my desktop, and you know, two and a half years ago, it was kind of a pain to get Unity running on Linux. I think it runs okay now, I've heard, but it's too late for me. It's too late for me. I'm already deep in here. But it's great, so that's a nice thing about it. I think I need to... Don't save that. I think I'm not sure exactly what's happening here. Yeah, totally. We're spoiled for choices. This gets the list of campaigns. This gets the list of levels and adds it. Each level button is its own scene. And yeah. Is this taking input? Focus mode all, filter, ignore. So it's ignoring the mouse there. Right? Okay, that's fine. And then the chooser itself is this scene. Fine. I don't know how to fix this. I think I want something like, if this gets focus but it's hidden, then give focus to this instead. This is starting to feel like one of those problems that I need to let my mind think about while I'm sleeping. I mean, I understand what this stuff is doing. You can say, you know, for this control, the control to the left is some other control. And then if you go left, it'll go to that one. But when nothing's assigned, it kind of just does a default thing where it tries to guess. And so if I'm in here and I have focus on one of my level buttons and you push down, it's guessing I really want to go here. But this button actually has an up, right? Which isn't the level control. It's the come on. It's this thing. But it's obscured by this, by the levels, right? So when you go back up, it gives this control focus, but it's hidden. It's hidden. So what I want is for this button, when you go back up, for this to dynamically be this control. So maybe one way to fix this would be to say, if this gets focus, change what the top and bottom are dynamically at runtime. Or say, if this gets focus, but it's hidden. Let's try that. If this gets focus, but I'm hidden, if S1, what the heck is that? What the heck is button? Do you guys see button in here? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Chooser, UI, campaigns, S1, levels, user, campaign, levels, button, label, tween, launcher. I don't see a button. Jackal game, or you can always set the focus neighbor when the visibility changes. Yeah, right? So when the visibility of my level chooser changes, it would need to reassign these. And that's what I'm trying to do. But I'm running across this weird... Where the heck was it? Oh, was I looking at the wrong thing? Oh, yeah. So the reason I was going crazy was because I was looking at the campaign button script, but the chooser scene tree. So I was looking at the wrong script. What's happening is the chooser... this campaign button has a signal that goes here. And for some reason, somehow I ended up here in the wrong script. I think what I want to do is just... I think what I want to do is add a new signal here for focus entered and hide the levels again. I want to do something like this. If levels dot visible or dot levels dot visible, go back. Let's see what that does. Now let's change this back to full screen. Go in there. BAP. Not quite right. That was weird. Getting there. Getting close. Hey, what's up?
Just wondering how long your live streaming is going to take.
I don't know.
Like 3 hours.
I know, it's been a while. This is a long stream. I'll be done soon.
So much for lunch.
Oh, we're doing that.
Like dinner now.
I'm gonna have to get going, guys. I forgot I had a lunch date with my wife. Let me... I feel like I'm real close to fixing this. Levels show. Levels clear. Campaigns hide. Levels show. Levels clear. Campaigns hide. Hide, 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 hide. Seems like that should work, actually. Yeah, now I can't concentrate. I gotta go. This is the end of the stream, guys. Thanks for hanging around. If you're new to Gravity Ace, please go check out gravityace.com. Come join my Discord server. There's a link there. Follow it on itch.io. Wishlisted on Steam. Thanks for the follows, everybody. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna go get lunch because it is 2:30 here, and my wife just reminded me that I'm starving to death. Uh, uh, Great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. See you next time.